name is Sy Lewis, and this is Sy's Green Scene. Thank you for coming on tonight to share this time with us. I'd like to introduce my guest, Felicia Slanton Young. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Today we're going to talk about the Greater Englewood area. Ms. Young is the Executive Director of the Greater Englewood Chamber. Ms. Young, can you tell us a little bit about the Greater Englewood Chamber?
Yes. So I am one of two co-founders of the Greater Englewood Chamber of Commerce. We founded the chamber, me and Eric McLeod, my co-founder, back in 2015. Part of it was me trying to figure out how can I join the local chamber to meet other business owners. And selfishly, I run a investment firm, and so I was trying to also figure out if I can find more clients. Learned very quickly that there wasn't a chamber, and we started one. We wanted to make sure that the small businesses in the area had a voice and a way to connect with each other.
Okay. So how long have you guys been a chamber?
This year will be 9 years.
9 years.
Yes. Actively engaged in the community. We took our first year just to understand the landscape, small business landscape. And then the second year, we really focused on building our nonprofit organization. And then in 2017, we did a hard launch of the organization where we went out, we met with the businesses, told them about what we were doing, created some events to invite folks, mostly because we really wanted small business owners to be able to connect with each other. We didn't see a lot of that happening. And we are, as of August 1st, we will be 9 years strong.
Well, I've been to Englewood lately. I've seen some amazing changes. Can you tell us and the audience a little bit about some of the changes and some of the new businesses that have come to the Greater Englewood area?
Absolutely. There has been a tremendous amount of change happening in Englewood. Firstly, I would like to say a lot of this process started with the second iteration of the Englewood Quality of Life, which was led by the city, supported by a number of nonprofit organizations, but led by Teamwork Englewood, one of our community partners. They were the leading organization that galvanized the community, not just organizations, but small business owners, our clergy, our hospital, but most importantly, the community. And what we did was we put together this comprehensive 10-year plan to say, what were the 5 things we really want to focus on in this community, that as a community of an assortment of different kind of leaders and experts in so many different areas of concentration that we wanted to take ownership of and build. And we focused on land and open spaces, public safety, health and wellness, youth and education, and of course, as a chamber, jobs and economic development. And because of it, we've seen so much development happening, not just with our Englewood Square, which has the Chipotle and the Starbucks and a number of other businesses in the space, including the new Save-A-Lot store that's in that space, but also E.G. Wood, which is so great, the build out of their space at the corner of 63rd and May. And so we have that. They are a architecture firm, Beehive. There's Marie Wesley, which is a Black-owned resale store.
Yes,
we're really excited
I've been
about.
there.
And Pal's Barbershop is there on that first floor, along with Momentum Coffee. I cannot forget about a community-focused grocery store. We have the Fresh Market that sits right at the corner of 63rd and Racine, and they're doing some other amazing developments across that 63rd Street corridor. And there are a number of new businesses to come, including 2 sit-down restaurants. So we're looking forward to seeing those new businesses along 63rd. And there's so many, many, many more different developments happening along the 59th Street corridor. that's happening on the 69th Street corridor and some other places. But those are to come. I'll come back and tell you about those soon.
I'm looking forward to that. So as you tell us about these things, this is something that ties into the sustainability of a community. Would you say that what you all have done, both Teamwork Englewood and all of the other partners that you have mentioned, do you think that this could be the blueprint for other neighborhoods? Meadows East Side, which sponsors this program, is in South Shore. Do you think that this could be a blueprint in South Shore, or let's say in Chatham? We have 77 communities in the city of Chicago. I have seen, the development in Englewood, and this type of quality of life plan is really important because it really does involve the community. And if other communities could put this blueprint together and do that, do you think that they would be able to grow in this manner?
Absolutely. And so it's not just the putting of the plan together, it's also about the commitment to continue to do the work. It could have been very easy for us to literally every organization stop in the midst of COVID. And many of us did, but it wasn't that we stopped focusing on the quality of life, but what we did was we activated what we did best as community partners and leaders around, well, now let's just focus on community. Let's stabilize our community with food and other resources that they need to thrive and survive through COVID, while we still allowed ourselves to touch community members and give them updates and still do job fairs and still support and rally for small businesses and still celebrate new businesses at that time. And I think it was all of us really being committed to the effort of moving down the pathway and making sure that we didn't stop, we paused, we regathered, and now we're right back into those meetings that we collectively do every month to continue to move this quality of life initiative, which is what we call it now, forward.
Well, when I met you, you were in a different location. Can you tell us a little bit about your new location?
Sure. So, small little nonprofit trying to find a space with no money. Teamwork Englewood brought us under their wing, allowed us to use their space. And I want to say we incubated out of Teamwork Englewood at 63rd Street in the U.S. Bank building for about 5 years. We officially moved into our new place in December of 2022. Now we're located in the office suite above Kusanya Cafe at 69th and Green. So our address is 825 West 69th Street, the second floor. So definitely come visit us.
I have to say,
Yes.
It smells so delicious in your office. And it's not a long walk up the stairs, but stop and get you some coffee on your way up and maybe a little tidbit to eat. It's amazing. Please continue.
Well, that smell. So let me just preface this in saying our office is partially above the cafe, but they are a local roaster. So they roast their own beans. And so what you smell in our office is the roasting of the beans that smells so much like chocolate.
It's so amazing. It is so amazing.
So we're really excited about being along that 69th Street corridor and really thinking through intentionality of how do we want to show up in that corridor in support of the businesses that are there. Think through the intentionality of the businesses we want to bring to the corridor, but also thinking through the fact that we have this beautiful state-of-the-art, brand new high school, Englewood STEM. How do we get really focused on building activities, spaces, commerce around that school to support those students? And we're looking at a number of ways, and I can't wait to tell you more about those.
I'm excited too. I'm excited for the students. We do recognize that in this day and age, in 2024, all students are not going to be interested in going to college. A lot of young people are entrepreneurs, and they have a vision for starting their own business and are doing marvelously at it. And going through STEM programs, they may come out of school and want to do something totally different. To be able to do that in their own communities, to be able to find office space, business space in their own communities is big. We talk about people being educated and leaving their community, and that means that we're taking resources out of our community, and that's why our communities can't be sustainable. So when we talk about sustainability, it's more than just our environment, and it's more than just ecology. Sustainability is your whole system around you. So I know that you also are working on some other programs. So can you tell us a little bit about the programs you offer at the Greater Englewood Chamber?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So we do run a number of business support programs really designed to grow and build the acumen of our entrepreneurs. What you need as a budding entrepreneur is different from what you need 5 years in, and different than what you need 10 years in. And so
this is one of your programs?
Yes. And so, of course, we have the basic financials for business that we do in partnership with our partners at Chicago Inventors Organization and Greater Southwest Development Corporation, where we are helping business owners to think through all of the financial management things that they need to have in place to really be able to track what they're spending, but also track what they're bringing in. So we're going through cost of labor. We're looking at operational expense. For those that have merchandise, we're giving them the template to manage all of their inventory, but we're also thinking through, let's get clear about our profit and loss. What are we bringing in and what are we spending? And is what we're doing really working? And using that data that you're collecting to help you make really good business decisions. And so that particular program will kick off with our partners at MHub in May. And so definitely visit our website, www.gechamber.com. Go over to programs and events, and you'll see all the latest that we're doing over there. Secondly, we're really thinking through green initiatives and sustainability, specifically in communities like Englewood that has had so much disinvestment, and there's so much support that we need to provide to our community members, not just about access to green, but what is it? How does it benefit me? How do I tap into it? And is it real savings or is it perceived savings? There's so much information out there. There's so much jargon being used, and I feel like you're talking over people's heads. And we really wanted to begin to work with community organizations across the city. We have a couple of organizations, Meadows Eastside and South Shore and Teamwork Englewood, that we're just really trying to think through how do we begin to educate our community members on what it is, so that when decisions and planning are happening at the local level, the city level, the county level, that when they're looking at these documents, they understand what they're seeing and they know how to respond.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so important. The training, the information, the solar. People look, and I see it all the time, EV, SL. So we have EE is energy efficiency, EV is electric vehicles. So the average person is not going to know what these things are, and they're just going to push it aside, and then they get left out of that conversation.
Absolutely.
So the conversation isn't just about CETA and LIHEAP, and it should be, because you should always be, it should be included, because you should always be taking advantage of those services. But we also want to know how those services connect to solar and connect to EV and connect to marketplace. And we want to ensure not just that you're able to purchase those types of services, but also be equipped, if you're interested, to have jobs and employment in those types of services. They are moving toward this industry like the steel mill was a great industry for being able to support your family and have generational wealth. That is what this industry will do as well.
Absolutely.
So the program that you all are setting up, can you tell us a little bit more about that program?
Absolutely. So part of our Englewood Shared Renewables program, we're doing a few different things. Not only are we in the midst of anchoring a formal space that our program will be housed, this space is really designed to support entrepreneurs of colors in the clean energy technology space, giving them a space to create prototypes to sell on the open market. But also we wanted to include a training space. We want to make sure that when we think about wealth building, how can we take this clean energy technology and build wealth for those in the space? So yes, it's workforce development, but it's also a pathway into entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
For everything that we build, if you think about, PCs, late 70s, early 80s, Microsoft was just getting all in there, right? We think about the internet service and how that started. Think about all the careers that was built in that space, right? Now think about 5-10 years into that particular industry, all of the entrepreneurs who launched from there. Amazon launched from that.
Absolutely.
Facebook launched from that. Instagram. All of these entrepreneurs who understood how to work through and navigate the technology and said, you know what, I see a gap. No one's doing this. And they develop a niche for themselves. That can be done in clean energy. And we want to make sure that not only our community members, but our returning citizens have that opportunity to be the next Amazon-ish person in this green energy technology space.
Absolutely. A short story. So everybody goes now to get their money from, what is the machine called?
Which ATM machine? Mm-hmm.
So before they were ATM machines, they were called cash stations.
Yes, they were. I remember that.
I worked for cash station, and that's all they had were these little cash station machines, and they weren't everywhere. So one company, and then people came up with better ideas,
I agree.
smaller machines, and now they're everywhere. There isn't anywhere that you can't go and find an ATM. So of course you can still get cash, but it turned out to be just another one of those industries. So what someone else can start, you can build on, and you can refine and make it a better product. And so having the ability to come into your own community to do something like that is really big, and workforce development is really big. And having a place for our returning citizens to come, be educated, have the opportunity to make a living and start over is what being a returning citizen is all about. You know, we want them to integrate into the community, get good jobs, and be, what would we call it, a citizen just like you are. We want neighbors and we want community members in our neighborhoods. So when do you think you will be launching your program?
We have a late July, early August date that we've set. We're looking at our first cohort of 10 to 15 participants from the Englewood community because that's our focus area. We're also looking to launch within our partnership these energy efficiency education discussions around the community, because I think before we get through with 2024, it's time for us to engage our community around what they can expect to see.
Absolutely.
and begin to discuss how it affects them or could affect them. But most importantly, how can they be an active participant, right? So many times things happen to us versus with us.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure that everything about clean energy, smart energy, efficiency is happening with our community in mind and not just to them.
This is so exciting for me. Felicia and I are very much partners in wanting our communities to be a part of this. There are things that you will qualify for, you need to be informed about. There's solar. You hear a lot about solar, and you hear solar is free often. And in actuality, it is not. But you need to hear the particulars about that, and you need to be educated about that, and you need a source that you can trust. And so the one thing you will always get from the Greater Englewood Chamber, from Meadows East Side, and from
Teamwork Englewood.
Teamwork Englewood is factual information, because we are community centered, and that is our goal. So our goal is to ensure that the information gets out to you. So do you have any last words about what you would want to share? And we do want to get more information about your financial classes that's coming up.
Absolutely.
So please.
Sure. Most importantly, for those of you small business owners, entrepreneurs, if you're living in Englewood, you're doing business in Englewood, please come check us out. Visit us at our space at 825 West 69th Street. We're on the second floor. Visit our website, www.gegchamber.com, or call us, 312-768-8573. We'd love to tell you more about what we're doing. I'll give you some ideas about some of the initiatives that we have been doing in partnership with a number of our partners, Greater Englewood, E.G. Wood, Teamwork Englewood, IEI, Think Outside the Block, Pride Rock, so many more, is really to bring attention to a lot of our vacant spaces, whether they are vacant commercial lots or vacant commercial spaces. In 2022, we did 63rd Street Reimagine, where we used artwork to redefine specific vacant commercial spaces. And we did it by asking the community, what would you like to see in these spaces? And we got toy stores and clothing stores and boutique hotels. And so we used artwork to depict that. Definitely travel down 63rd Street. You will see some of those art renderings still up on those vacant spaces. And not only is it beautiful to be able to walk by this beautiful piece of artwork, but it really is our way, or the community's way, of expressing what they really want to see, some of the services that and providers they would like to have back in the community. Secondly, last year we did 69th Street Reimagine, and this is where we really tapped into technology. So we spent about a month and a half going to every community event across Englewood and doing surveys. We asked all of our community members on this vacant lot, because we really wanted to focus on vacant commercial lots. What would you like to see? If there could be anything on that lot, what would you like to see? We asked them about height, texture, colors, and any other theme that they thought they'd like to be able to do in that building. And there were some beautiful things. So we used AI. We typed those prompts in. It printed us out a picture that we had them put their initials on. And then what we did, once we collected about 150, and we had people vote. What is your favorite? And for the top 3, we included someone that gave us VR. And so on Small Business Saturday, you were able to virtually walk through those spaces.
Oh my goodness.
It was so much fun.
It's exciting to be a part of the Greater Englewood Chamber. So I hope that you'll reach out to the Greater Englewood Chamber and to Felicia Young. There's a lot to learn there. So again, you know me. I'm Sy, and I'm at Meadows Eastside Community Resource Organization. We're a small business resource center. You can reach us on our website, meadowseastside.org, and you can follow us on Facebook at Sy's Green Scene to follow up on all of the things that we talked about here. You'll be able to see the flyer and more information about Teamwork Englewood and the Greater Englewood Chamber. And as well, and here we have the flyer.
Don't forget, reach out to us, use that QR code if you're interested, sign up, come to the informational, learn more about how to fiscally manage your business. We're going to be having those classes right at MHub.
And I want to thank a few people. So I want to thank Lauren Wright. Lauren is my stylist, and she is both my hairstylist and my dresser. And Lauren is with The Right Style Beauty on East 79th Street. And you can find her on both Facebook and Instagram. And I want to thank her for all of the hard work that she puts into me. So thank you again, Lauren. And I also want to thank the Greater Englewood Chamber for sponsoring me as well, and Teamwork Englewood. It's been a wonderful day. I want you all to be safe out there. And remember, sustainability starts with you. You're an environmentalist. Every time you take a breath, keep your community clean and be safe out there.